And good morning, everybody. Welcome to another stream and another Saturday morning. Welcome, Ryan. Nice to speak a little bit of Afrikaans with you again. And this morning we're going to fly from Koebenhavn back down to um, Cologne-Bonn. And that's going to basically give me a round trip from where I started off yesterday. Yesterday I did 4 flights, one after another. I was lucky enough to work at home, so that gave me a lot of time. And obviously, the autopilot flies the plane. I just take off and land, and that was enough to do all the work in the middle. So, I've learned a couple of new things as well during the week. We've had a nice talk, me and one of the developers of the Zibo, and we were discussing this whole story with PFPX and SimBrief and loading of the aircraft and stories like that. So I'm just going to chip in a couple of things there as we continue. And then also, I almost didn't make it this morning. So just for the record, if anybody that knows about it is now wondering why everything changed, because I told a couple of people I might not be streaming. The dentist appointment got cancelled. It's moved out until Friday. So here I am. And I think a couple of guys are going to be quite happy with that. So that's about it. Good morning, Paul. Nice to see you on the stream with us. Yeah, I just want to quickly have a little bit of a look around, see what's spotting here. Right, so I have live traffic enabled. But what this guy is doing here on the runway, the taxiway, is anybody's guess. I think that was just part of what the scenery designer deemed to be eye candy, which is a pity because, I mean, if you look at the way everything is right now, it's kind of not nice. I think I'm going to move my stand a little bit, maybe go to the one in front of me if I can manage that.
Ryanair.
And then I have just noticed that what my meter is telling me, what I'm seeing in X-Plane now is also two different things. Let's have a look see. Oh, weather is definitely correct. And there is one of those famous live traffic aircraft. There you go. Bye-bye. Guys, I hope you have a good weekend. Don't know where you guys are all located, but if it's only starting, enjoy it. If you've had it for a while, I hope it's been good and that the rest will be good as well. I think this is a great day for flying. I was hoping for the rain, but we'll pretend it's there or pretend it's not, whatever. I'm quickly going to set up my active sky behind the scenes here, so we can at least use the voice from the radio. There we go. Right. Hey, Patrick, good morning. Guys, just a quick note, if you guys are not aware of it, I did update my checklist. So if you click in the video description below, you go to my private hangar and into the Zibo folder checklists, you'll see there is a new checklist and it looks kind of like this. I'll put it up on the screen quickly. That's the new one. with the date. Dean, unfortunately not. That's a couple of 1,000 miles away from me, my friend. Maybe the next one, but I'm sitting at the very tip of Africa, down at the southern end. So it's like many thousands of miles away from me, unfortunately. Right. Anyway, guys, go grab a copy of the checklist. It's a complete new format. It includes all the stuff for the icing, de-icing trucks for normal icing operations, and also the starter unit now. So it's all available to you guys. Paul, no, the C list has not changed. I spoke to David in the week about the C list. We'll update it when we have the time. Our business, because me and David work together in our business, we're kind of busy right now at this point in time. So obviously real world comes first, and then once we've got a time available to us, David will jump in and quickly update the C list.
Ground cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Right, guys, so one of the things that we've been discussing actually for quite a while now, both me and one of the developers, and also me and some of you guys out there, is this whole loading process. And while I was speaking to one of the Zibo developers, it dawned on me that we are actually doing something that I think it was my, when was it? About the 8th grade, my math teacher one day told me, you can't mix units, so you can't multiply millimeters and centimeters or pounds and kilograms. You've got to, decide which one you want, then go to one single unit of measurement. And this came into my mind when I started looking and discussing this whole loading process. Because one of the things that I'm guilty of is I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and it sometimes drives me nuts when I spend hours and hours and hours trying to get the mathematics to work, and then no matter what I do, it doesn't work. And then I realized when we look at this tablet, when we look at the payload, we are looking at the OFP and we're going 18.9. Right, so that's the amount of cargo and passengers that was loaded. Then we go to the fuel and we look at the block fuel and we say, okay, we need 7.7 tons of fuel, because I'm using kilograms now. Right, and now I'm waiting for the calculation to happen at the takeoff weight section. And I see, oh, now there's a discrepancy. There's now 67.8 was expected, but we're sitting on 68. And for a long time, and I've mentioned this in quite a few videos, I've been trying to figure out why this is wrong, why it's just not computing. Because the one day it will, and the next day it simply won't. So we started looking at the whole mathematics, and we started looking at how PFPX works and how the rounding works. And then we started looking at how Zibo does the calculations and what he does. And the simple fact of the matter is the takeoff weight, that is the weight minus your taxi fuel. So everything that happens at the top is at the ramp, but that one actually happens at the threshold as you are about to get on the runway. That's where that is measured. So you continuously going to have some or other discrepancy, whether you attribute this to crew weight or whether you attribute it to taxi fuel weight, which is the most logical one after this hell of a big discussion we had. There's always going to be some sort of discrepancy, and at the end of the day, we decided collectively that we're not going to split hairs. We're going to use what the OFP gives us. It's close enough, and we're going to accept whatever the tablet uses. And I hope that answers a lot of questions, because I've had a lot of guys query, my calculations, and query what's happened here and why not, and so on. So it's as easy as that. We're looking at two different instances. We're trying to multiply pounds and kilograms as an example. It's two different places where measurements are taken. And you've got to realize that that one is going to be at the threshold and that is at the ramp. I don't know why Zibo did that. I have not had the pleasure of asking him. But it's something that dawned on me that I just thought I'd share with you guys while you are here. Yeah. Use it, don't use it, lose it, all up to you. At the end of the day, I think it's just important to use the OFP. Make sure you've got enough fuel so you don't fall out the sky. It's close enough for the simulation. And then one last thing, and then we're going to step off of this topic, is to illustrate the matter a little bit more. I've actually changed my OFP format. You can also download the latest version from my OneDrive. So I've actually taken away the rounding to a certain extent. So you, instead of seeing 3.0, you're now going to see the 3,033 kilograms. Instead of 1.4, you're actually going to see, oh, that's very close to 1.5. So I think this is just gonna show you guys how easy it is that the things don't match up just because of rounding as well. So that's it, guys. That's it. Good morning, Mike, and welcome to the stream. I hope you find it informative and that you guys will enjoy it with me. Right, so I just want to settle my mind quickly. So we're out by approximately 200 kilograms there. If we look at our taxi fuel, taxi alone is 120. If we go start playing around now with the fuel and we actually take the takeoff value 7.5, it actually gives us the 67.8. You see, and it was during this whole calculation that I discovered, hang on, if you use the takeoff fuel instead of the block fuel, it actually matches. But then it means that we're multiplying or using different units of measures at different points in place. So that's it. We're just going to use block fuel because we obviously need to get the taxi to happen as well. Aviation, Ryan, we can discuss stuff like that after the stream. Can we keep it on topic, please? Right, okay, our next step is to obviously check parking brake, fuel cut off, the speed brakes, flaps, gears. And then we can move to our overhead. Hey Captain and Yoki, good morning guys, welcome to the stream yet again. Paul, you made my day earlier when I read your comment. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. All right, so this is going to be a virtual Ryanair flight. And for those of you that have joined late, I did 4 flights yesterday for Ryanair, and I'm on my way back to my starting point, which was Cologne-Bonn EDDK, and this will then give me a nice round trip. Virtual Ryanair allows us to make a whole series of bookings up ahead, in front, and so that was kind of fun working at home yesterday, having the opportunity to fly and just go for it. At this point in time, I just need to start my smart cars and make sure that my flight gets logged. Otherwise, it's going to have to be redone. Right, then I'm going to use my elapsed timer to keep an eye on it. Virtual Ryanair requires us to be on the ground and doing our preparation for between 20 and 40 minutes. And that's going to be measured there for me so I can keep an eye on it. I tend to be quite fast, so at some point in time we're going to sit and maybe tell jokes to each other or something just to waste the time to get there. Or I must just work slower. Guys, if I go too fast and if there's anything you need to know, you want to ask, don't be shy. Please interrupt me, shout, drop your message. Let's discuss the stuff as we go on. I'm not sure what your requirements would be, and I wouldn't know if you guys don't tell me, so please feel free to do that. Right, so this morning we've got 9 minutes until we get alignment, so we can really take it easy. Guys, if any of you want to join me on Discord at some point in time, the link is below. It's just a couple of rules, so if you want to do that, we'll discuss that. Otherwise, it's available. What do you mean trying to, Captain? Are you trying to join me? Okay, well, take your time. We're going to be here for another hour and a half at least, so just take your time. What you need to realize is you need to be logged in to your account when you click on my link, because otherwise it's not going to marry you up with my server. Once you are tied into my server, then I need to give you the access rights and pull you into the room where I am, because that one is just live on air. Nobody comes in there without proper credentials. Well, Mike, the Zibo is an interesting aircraft and it's becoming all the more realistic with every release. And it's a steep learning curve, but I wish you luck. And I tell you what, it's very rewarding, so never give up. Just continuously, work at it. As I'm planning here, I'm just also consulting my charts, guys. So it just takes a minute or two to sort that out. Nope, we don't use any one of those ones. And that's a nice straight in over there. No surprises there. Excellent. Hey, Ora, good morning. Geniet dit, Ryan. Ryan, I'm flying for all the VAMSIS based airlines. So, I mean, this is virtual Ryanair. And if you want to fly the Zibo, that's probably the better one for Europe. Delta is the one for America. In fact, the Delta one actually includes the 7, 8, and 900 variant. So you can fly all three the Zibos. And you can also try virtual KLM. That should all give you Zibos, or at least 800s. Right, where are we at? 9 degrees. I'm going to skip the advanced stuff here. No need for us to go do all those maths so early in the morning. Ryan, for each virtual airline that you fly for, you need to have the livery for the airline. They will not accept your PIREP if you do not fly with their livery. Ryan, the livery can look what it wants to, any which way it wants to. As long as it's a Delta livery and the guys will accept it, you can fly it. Otherwise, don't fly for a virtual airline. Then fly what you want, when you want, finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the seatbelt lights flash on and off. It's also an indication for you to actually make sure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and ready for departure.
That's going to be a very fast turnout to the right there. Paul, no, the story is this. Last night when I spoke with Uncle John, we had a kind of an emergency with our daughter. She came in to the room here and told us she's got a toothache. And we noticed that one of her baby teeth were chipped. And we gave her some, medicine to just take away the pain so she could sleep. And the idea was to then go to the dentist this morning with her. And we spoke to the dentist. We got some calls back. We tried to fit her in. There is no appointment available at all. So the earliest we can take her is going to be on Monday, but the dentist has suggested, a proper medication. And that has basically changed my schedule around. So Uncle John is under the impression that I'm not streaming this morning because I told him so. In fact, I told a few people so. But with the things that changed, here I am, Good morning, Mr. Malone. And for those of you that are new on the stream now and didn't hear the story in the beginning, we're flying for virtual Ryan Air, so I'm doing everything slowly so that I can use up the 20 minutes that I'm supposed to sit stationary on the ground. Right, so that takes care of our overhead. We've got 7 minutes left before we can actually push. Good morning, Captain. Can you hear me? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, 100%. Welcome to let me put your voice on stream as well. So welcome to the stream.
Right. Oh. All the noise from the streams disappeared. Can I still hear?
Well, the best thing to do would be to just mute the stream. Play the stream, but mute the audio on the stream. Otherwise, you're going to get feedback, and obviously, there's a delay between when we talk and when you're going to hear it on the stream.
That's right. I can hear you perfectly now. The stream's muted.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to do it. You'll also notice there's about a 10-second delay between what I say and what happens, on stream. So that's just part of the delay from me broadcasting and you receiving.
That's okay, no problem. That's good to actually speak to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's always nice to have some company here on stream. I'm not your average streamer. I'm not, the biggest showman on earth. So it's nice to have a partner to discuss things with as we continue. And that's also why it's so important. The guys need to type a lot, so I can, interact with the guys.
I know the feeling because I've been interacting with you as Phil Wood for a long time.
Okay, cool. So you are full, in other words.
Exactly. Yeah,
okay. Now I've got it.
Yeah, I've been away from Zibo all week. I've been down south on the coast, so just back home.
Okay. I now remember you actually made mention on Facebook somewhere that you changed your name. Now that you mention it, I recall that.
That's right, yeah.
Right.
So, get on with the stream. Get back to work.
Yeah, I've got time to burn. There's like 4 minutes minimum. I usually wait another minute, so there's about 5 minutes left before we can actually go. The way it works is they want to see that you actually do your proper preparation before you go. So you need to sit on the ground for between 20 and 40 minutes. The thing is, I'm just too fast.
Yeah, I always forget to start the clock, or arc, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting waiting for it to catch up.
Yeah. Paul, I spent a lot of time on Facebook, on the Zibo group, obviously moderating that. I spent time on the Zibo Discord server moderating that. I deal with the guys behind the scenes quite a lot. I've also got my own Facebook page, my Schematics page, that I think that's where you and I actually spoke together this morning quickly. I answered your comment there. I'm not sure what you mean by looking in the wrong place, because those are the main places where I frequent in terms of Facebook. Also, the other thing is, a lot of the guys in time, as I get to know them, obviously make friends with me on Facebook, so we also talk on Messenger. Phil, I can't remember if you actually sent me a message or if it was in a post on Facebook where you mentioned your changes, but it happens,
It was, I think it was in Facebook on the Zibo.
Yeah.
In the Zibo.
Right, so we can send these guys away and we can make sure we close our doors now.
I wasn't here for the flight briefing. Is it an interesting flight path?
It's part of, I don't know what exactly to call it. With Witsel Ryanair, what I did was yesterday morning, I knew I was going to work from home because I was doing estimates and quotes for customers. And I set up a whole series of flights. I completed 4 flights yesterday, and this is now like to close the circle basically. So I flew down from Cologne. I flew down to Bari, from Bari to Krakow, from Krakow to here. Now from here I'm going back to Cologne-Bonn. So it's just part of how I set it up. It's I was thinking of doing, I don't know, trying to find an exciting flight or something, so to speak, and then I realized, oh, this is about an hour and 15 minutes flight. We might as well stream it, you know, and then I get my brownie points for the VA as well.
Sounds good.
Paul, give me a second. I'll give you a link to the group. You know, if you've been flight simming as long as I have, you always need a reason to fly. You know, it's not the question of, I just feel like flying. I mean, where do you fly to? What do you do? It's nice to have a reason, and that's where the virtual airlines come in for me, because they supply the routes, they give you a reason, they give you the ranking structure, you get your points, you know, they measure your landing rates, they do all kinds of fun things, you know, just to keep it interesting. Uncle John's woke. He says he won't be too long, then he'll be here.
Good to know.
Yeah. That's a great guy, that, you know.
He sounds it. Is he really an uncle?
He's not a blood uncle, no. He's 71 years young, ex-pilot himself, and loves the Zibo. And obviously he's a great supporter of mine. He's one of my better students. I can brag about that. That guy is like a sponge. He takes everything in and he learns. And I introduced him to Ryanair, and within 12 days, you must check his ranking and his hours and things, how he's been flying. It's amazing to have guys like that, you know, that just jump in head over heels and, you know, do it.
Yeah, I wish I had the time to do that. Unfortunately, there's too many different. I'm working, and there's too many different simulators to play with. There's submarines, there's planes, trains, there's all sorts.
Yeah, it happens. Right, so I'm ready for the pushback. I'm just quickly checking my checklist here, make sure that everything is in place. GPU can disconnect, and we can call the pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Ladies and gentlemen, mobile phone and tablets are permitted to use for the whole duration of the flight in airplane or flight mode. If your device does not have airplane or flight mode, it needs to be switched off now and remain switched off for the whole duration of the flight. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Right for you, I can't hear it.
Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry.
It's just one of these things.
Yeah, it gets very disorientated when you've got the feedback 10 seconds later and, you know, the echo. It's much better to just do it this way, unfortunately.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Right, there's the nose lifting up, so we're almost ready to go.
Self connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Right, with Ryanair we always have to start engine number 2 first. With Delta we always start engine number 1 first, and in the real world it doesn't work either way. There's a whole procedure in the real world, but I see the VAs obviously stick to whatever rules they want, and then you just got to fall in line with them.
Yeah, I've done a fair few Ryanair flights so far.
Good.
Yeah, always do the number 2 first. And
Yeah.
always remember to switch the engines off before you file your flight.
Yeah, and retract the flaps, you know, you get all those little brownie
That's
points all add up.
My flight down south on Monday was in some strange little thing with propellers on it smaller than a Dash 8. And they obviously didn't have an APU because on landing, when they got to the airport, they shut the engines off and all the lights went out for about a minute.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yes, small aircraft, only 70 odd seats.
If there's one aircraft I like to fly, you know, in the simulator, but I don't like to be a passenger in the real world, that's the Dash 8. When I look at that airfoil, and I look how small it is, I mean, that's a missile, that's all it is. If those engines stop, you're dead. You can't glide that thing. It always scares me when I think I need to go fly one of those things.
I always thought because yeah, it's quite a narrow chord on the wings, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I always, because it's so square and so flat, I always thought it looks like a glider that somebody's nailed some engines to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stand by.
Well, this thing, I think Flybe are hiring some. There's a Norwegian hire company that bought these ATV something or other. I'm not quite sure what they're called, but they're a bit smaller than a Dash 8. You only enter through the back door. And as I said, there's no APU, so you could hear the compressor at the side of it starting the engines up. When it got to the other airport, the lights went out until it got to...
So is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, so now we need to find our way to this runway. Apparently we need to turn to our right when we get to the taxiway. Oh George, that's perfectly okay, my friend. I almost didn't make it at all, so you're welcome on board.
Well, I normally do, Nico, is I've got my Navigraph desktop on the second screen these days.
I
new
do.
Version.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the way I do it as well. I've got 4 screens, 3x23 inch and then the 7 inch. So the
That's
7,
all right for some.
yeah, the 7 inch takes care of Discord, and then the right hand side is Navigraph and the left hand side is the broadcasting stuff.
Nice. I'm waiting for. I don't think the Navigraph to update the desktop for the iPad, because I've got a nice big iPad I could use for the Navigraph screen, but I don't think they've got the latest update on it yet.
Well, I don't know. I don't use it on any of my tablets because of the big screen. Yeah, so yeah, you'll have to keep an eye on them doing those updates.
I've got the big iPad anyway, the 12-point-something inch screen, which is more than enough for the Navigraph.
Yeah, absolutely. George, yes, I am on VAMSys. If you go to the Ryanair control panel, you should see me online there. We had an interesting approach here last night. I was streaming this flight coming into Kastrup on Twitch. And if you look at the actual chart, what was supposed to happen is the aircraft was supposed to fly to the Kilo Alpha Oscar VOR, then turn left on a radial of 023 and then form like a teardrop and then enter onto the ILS. And because I did not see, you know, on the navigational display that it was going to actually fly that route. I set myself up to use the vectors because it is a vectored approach. So I was using heading select, and at the last moment, the Zibo goes and he actually wants to turn towards, you know, the beginning of the teardrop on the far right hand side, almost at the beginning of the ILS. So I just kept it on heading select, but that was a surprise. You know, I think I'll fly this route again at some point in time, and then I'll just keep an eye on you know, the fact that it doesn't do a complete teardrop, it does like half a teardrop, but it was there, so it was kind of a surprise.
I think the first time I flew into Dublin, I had something similar, unless there's a loop as part of the approach, but it didn't seem right. It seemed to be a complete quirk of the flight plan, I think, rather than Zibo.
Right, I think we are set to go. Let's just change to our winds at the top there. That's fine. 13 knots. What? So there's our winds. 175 at 13. Okay. We'll have to hold on to that one. George. Well, I like being there, so I hope you like being on that VAMSA site as well and doing the VA stuff. I did 4 flights yesterday for Ryanair, and this is now the 5th one to basically complete the circle. And so yeah, it happens. It happens. I like it, so I hope you do too. Okay, let's toga. Let's get out of here. This is a short runway, so I don't want to waste time to get in there. One of the runways I took off from yesterday, I think it was Bari. That thing surprised me. I mean, I went past the piano bars on the other side before I took off. It was like almost on the threshold. Very short. Oh yeah, now I can feel this wind. I have to continuously compensate. Sorry, Phil?
Oh no, I thought you were getting to the end of the runway there.
Yeah, no, that one at Bari, that was like crazy short. But this wind is working, yeah, I can feel it. I love explaining this. Alright, so gear up.
400.
Okay. Gear up and off, and on the brakes off.
1000.
Good morning, John. I'm gonna pull you into the channel now. There you go. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys.
Morning, John.
Did you sleep well?
I did, and please accept my apologies for late arrival, but I had an approach into Manchester which was a bitch.
Okay, no worries. Look, it's my fault. I did already explain to the guys on stream here that I actually told you last night I was not going to do an early morning stream because of the dentist appointment, which didn't happen. And Paul is very happy that you are here. Eh?
Yes,
But
I'm happy to be here too. And
yeah.
I repeat, good morning to everybody.
Yeah.
Hello again.
This is Phil Wood sitting here with us, by the way, John.
Okay, good morning, Paul.
Phil Wood.
Sorry?
Phil
Hi,
Wood.
John. No, Phil Wood.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil Wood.
Yes.
Yes, good morning.
Otherwise known on most streams as Captain Voidzer.
Yes, so I see. That does confuse me when I see strange names, but there you go.
I've been using that on streams and on YouTube and various places for a long time, so I thought I'd try and get it across the board.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go.
That's
Hopefully
good.
we'll right in hand.
Yeah. Right, so this is where we stopped last night, John. So I'm just taking off from the same airport, Kastrup here in Koebenhavn, and now we're going back to Cologne-Bonn. Then we would have done 5 flights in 2 days for Ryanair.
You are just trying to catch up with me, be honest.
I am. No, I'm actually no. To be quite honest, I'm trying to run away from you because you're catching up to me now. I'm trying to widen the gap because I was telling the guys, you know, your progress and things. I'm so proud of you. You've done so well in the last 12 days. You said it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, we're up to 12 days now, and I'm virtually there for first officer.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I'm still trying to make second.
No, I'll pass that, I think, within about 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, I'm a working man. I've still got to go to work, and then there's U-boat simulators, and then there's train simulators. There's not enough time in.
Well, I make no apologies for the situation I'm in. I fly morning, noon, and night.
I envy you.
Yeah, amazing what you can do with time, man. Good morning, Kapitan. Nice to have you on stream with us.
If I've missed anybody, good morning.
Hey, speed check. I'm Danny. Good morning.
George. That's not a bad idea, actually, George. I must look into that.
This is the latest Zibo. This is RC3.7 that I'm flying right now.
3.7? Did it go up again last night? I'm sure I only installed 3.6 last.
Yeah, no, it's up again. I also noticed, John, I put a post on our Facebook group. Zibo says he's fixing the problem with the missing airports. He seems to indicate that he's going to give us the ability to read the custom airport files, which means
that sounds good.
Yeah, which means that I think it was 6 months ago that I asked him to do that. He's finally come around, which I'm very happy about now. Which means that we are not bound by the very old archaic explain 11 APT file anymore, and we will not have to manually edit it again, you know, because LTFM is the example that he used. He's very well aware of the fact that the Zibo can't fly there because it's not in the default explain APT file. So if he enables that for us, that will be marvelous. I'm just not sure if 3.7 is the version where he has already enabled it, or if it will be in, you know, another version, because the way he wrote the message is not very clear to me. So don't hold me to a 3.7 doing that already. But that should sort out Lemmy and all the other
Yeah, that was
airports.
my question.
Yeah. If it doesn't, you know, I just need to work on it so I can report back and say if it worked for that one as well or not, you know, so, you know, I must just talk about it, you know, when we get there.
The scenery opens up Lemmy okay, but when you start going through to the FMC and try and select the runway, it doesn't recognize the runways.
Yeah, so we need to find out where the discrepancy is. First of all, remember, Lemmy is now included in the explain database because it comes from the gateway, and any airport in the gateway is now contained in the database. But we need to make sure that it's not just a reference, that it actually contains runways according to the gateway. Once that's in place, then we won't have to edit the files again. But that's a process we need to work with to see where the shortcoming now is.
Sounds excellent news. I'm so pleased. George asked a fairly valid question there. On VASIS, can you see everyone's progress? No, not to my knowledge. I've gone through it. You can see your own, you can see what you've done, but you can't see everybody else's.
Well, yes and no. I've just posted my ID there. If you go to your friends list, you should have certain things that you can see. I'm quickly trying Ryan's one
Only
here.
your friends though.
I'm gonna check quickly. Yes. So if you make friends with somebody, you can actually log into their profile. You can't change anything on their profile, but you've got like read-only rights, and you can actually see all the flights they've done, the total hours, their ranking, their picture. You know, everything is there. Everything is there. But you have to be a friend with somebody.
Correct.
Yeah.
And since I've only got 2 friends registered on my VATSIM, sorry,
VATSIM,
on
Ryanair.
my Ryanair.
Yeah. Wow, John, you've flown, eh? I've just logged into yours. Wow.
You can put that on.
Can you see the percentages?
Can I show you a screenshot? Would you mind if I shared
Yes,
that?
of course. Yeah, of course. It shows to other people at least what is possible.
Yeah. Let's do that. Alright, so that's the print screen, so you can have a look there. Interesting, very nice, very nice. 82.49 hours and 23 seconds. It shows you your points, it shows a whole bunch of stuff here. 40 bookings. The whole stories.
And my last landing, by the way, was a hard landing. It was a -10 points, but it was very windy.
It happens.
It doesn't like my landings. My landings aren't as good as I thought they were.
There isn't much leeway with Ryanair. It's either a bad one or a good one, or fair, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, and if you go over 500 foot per minute landing, don't even bother to register it. Just fly it again.
No, don't even
Oh,
register it.
nothing like that. Nothing like that.
That's a pancake landing.
I thought that was a crash.
Not far off.
Oh, see, is that you top of the tree, John? Just looking at the
Sorry?
Ryanair page. Just looking at the Ryanair page on Vantis. It's got you the last 7 days stats. You're at the
Let me go.
Well, there you go.
13 flights, 2,420 points. That's impressive.
Oh yes, yes. Look at this. Look at this, guys. We've got a famous guy on stream with us. Hold on.
Can I have your autograph?
Yeah. Oh, this is so
now
cool.
Now I'm blushing, guys. I'm blushing.
Oh, this is so cool. I'm gonna put this on stream.
Brilliant.
George, if you go to your profile when you are in Ryanair, and the top right where it's got your name and your Ryanair ID, if you go to my friends, you should be able to do it from there. Yeah. Then on the page, what you do is you enter my ID and you click the send button. There's a big green send button there. It will send me a request, and then I will accept it, or you send it to someone else and they will accept it, or we send it to you and you accept it, kind of thing. It's easy as that.
And everybody knows my Ryanair number now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing this up. This is cool. You are
Starting to feel
more
like
than
a proper
welcome.
community.
Sorry for speaking over you. Say again.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no.
It's starting to feel like a proper community now.
Yes, yeah. I love the community feeling. I love the working together and sharing. That's what I live for. Eh? Right, speed check. Your turn, buddy. Talk to us. What would you like to know? Oh, yes. I missed that. Right, it is a add-on that works with my broadcasting software. I do not see it in the aircraft. It's got nothing to do with X-Plane. You cannot add it into X-Plane. It's basically an HTML reader and rendering program that uses XP-UIPC to read the values and then display it into the broadcasting software, and it is called Benny Overlay. It's written by one of the greatest guys in the community himself as well, Benny. German guy, and he's very friendly, very helpful. He's been on some streams with us, and really nice. You're welcome, John. I'll type it for you here. That's what it's called, Benny Overlay. I think his full name is Benjamin. That's where the Benny comes from. So. Well, speed check, that's it. It's Benny Overlay. If you if you do a YouTube search, go into your YouTube and just type Benny Overlay, you'll get the video and you'll get the download links, and you'll see what it's all about. Awesome.
Is that a different engine choice? I'm just looking at the scalloped back end on it, unless it's just a graphical glitch.
Phil, I was just taking a sip of coffee. Sorry, I muted the mics there. What happened was the person who made this livery did an awesome job, first of all, so there's nothing wrong with it, but he took some artistic liberty, and what he did was he created a leap engine effect. So if you look at the actual engines, if I go outside, he pretended that this was the Max, you understand? So he created like the leap engines.
I see.
So if you look at the front there, he actually wrote on there, this is the 737 MAX. And I actually had a bit of an argument with Virtual Ryanair because they actually rejected my PyRep based upon the fact that Ryanair do not operate the 737 MAX in the real world. And even though I explained to whoever the guy was who did the validating on the PyRep that this is just a livery, it's not the MAX, he just didn't care. So he had a bit of a bad attitude about him. And he came back and he said to me something, well, I don't fly X-Plane, I wouldn't know any better. But instead of educating himself and, making himself a better person, he decided to be an asshole. And
to
this very day, that PyRep is rejected because of this. And then I figured out that you can simply rename the folder. If you look at your livery folder inside of the Zibo liveries, and you look at the
Yeah.
folder, I just took out the wording Max. So currently my livery is just called Ryanair, and now it passes, now there's no problem to accept it. And I go,
The automatic system.
yeah, it's an automatic system until it gets flagged. And I've actually, at one point in time, I thought to myself, if it's that easy to bamboozle them, I'm going to use my Skymatics livery, call it Ryanair, because the system's not going to know any different, and then I can do all my streams with my own livery. And then I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not a cheat. I'm not going to do that. But, it's there.
Yeah, what difference does the livery make anyway?
Well, in terms of any virtual airline, the guys want you to fly their liveries, because it needs to be semi-authentic, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose. Especially when you're streaming it and there's many people watching.
Yeah. So that's where it comes from. But to this very day, he's refused. He does not want to accept my pirate, no matter what I say. And the funny thing is, I don't have the actual Zibo Max because of stuff that happened, which I'm not going to discuss on stream. There are literally, outside of the actual development team, there are only 2 guys who are authorized to have it. Only 2.
All right.
So,
Is that?
sorry?
I was just saying. Oh, right. Is that part of the Zibo team, or is that separate from that?
That's part of the Zibo stuff.
I see.
Yeah, so the Max is busy being worked on behind the scenes. No one knows when it will be fully ready because there are technical issues, getting valid information, on the actual aircraft. So it's going to take a bit of time to get completed.
Yeah. By the way, I've sent a friend request to you, Andron, but under my real name,
Cool.
because it said when I registered with Virtual Ryanair, they said use your real name. So
Of course.
Is that within Ryanair itself?
Yeah.
yeah.
Go. When I'm in there next, I'll accept Phil.
Okay. I've accepted.
Appreciate that, John. Thank you, Nico.
The other place where you can obviously follow the flights is when you just log into Ryanair. On page 1, it's got the map, and then you've got the little aircraft that's currently flying. So you can just simply put the mouse on one of the aircraft, and it will tell you who it is that's flying. And if you click on it, it gives you a bit of information as well as the flight path. It draws it out for you, and you can follow. Yeah, you can follow guys like that as well. Yeah, we've just crossed the ditch, it seems, on our way now into Europe.
Yeah. Still climbing.
Yeah. Well, we've
I
just
will be
reached.
flying again, by the way, after this flight.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I've got to put my other hat on this afternoon and go and mix and do some sound engineering for a wee group for the local sailing regatta.
Okay. I never heard this announcement.
Hello again from the flight
there
deck,
we
your
go.
captain speaking. We've just reached our cruise altitude and the seatbelt sign is now off. Feel free to move
that's
around
a
the cabin,
question.
but we do ask if you are in your seat that you do
Flying
keep
with
your
Virtual
seatbelt loosely fastened
Ryanair,
in
one
case
thing
we
I've
do
noticed is
experience
that
any
things like
unexpected
height
turbulence.
announcements on
Otherwise,
approach,
invite you to sit
they're
back,
doubled
relax,
up
and
now.
enjoy
I
the
don't
flight.
know whether Virtual Ryanair adds its own set of instructions on top of what's already.
Yeah. You need to go into your resources or documents, one of those two, and you need to actually read how to set it up. But I can actually put it on screen for you quickly as well. A couple of guys have asked us what this is about, and it's basically this. Let me just grab my screen quickly. Right, so when you go into your settings, you'll see it come up just now. It's got your sounds. You need to
I'm just seeing the
disable.
cockpit at the moment. Oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah, you need to disable all the sounds in here, otherwise it's going to double up.
I didn't know it had sound settings built into it like that. Right, that's good to know. Excellent, thank you. Easy question.
Yeah. The trick in life is to ask the questions, don't be shy. There is no such thing as a stupid question, because in most cases the answer is, very simple. But you won't know until you ask, so feel free.
Very true.
George, you're right. It's much better than to go shopping.
I'm not going to say this to embarrass a certain person, but my progress is down to one person, and he's flying the aircraft this morning.
Thank you, John.
Nico's got a lot to answer for. Most of it.
He has indeed. A situation probably about 2.5 weeks ago. Suddenly the switch went on, everything fell into place, and I haven't looked back since.
Brilliant. Just what you do other things apart from flying these things, otherwise you'll weld yourself to the chair.
I'm not complaining.
It's when I get up out of this chair and my knees don't want to play, I realise I've been sitting here for too long.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, I'm only a youngster. I'm only 71, so I shouldn't worry too much.
I've got a few years on me. I'm 57, but feeling 80 when I stand up and sit down.
Right, so we've got 117 nautical miles to go. When we hit about 100, I'll start the descent preparations. George is loving this.
So I see.
I like it when there's life in the flight, when we can sit and talk together and just have some good old-fashioned fun.
What's even more nice is that there's no bucket mouths on you.
No, if they are, I'll just ban them. I banned 2 guys in the last 2 weeks again, it happens. I don't have time for idiots.
Yeah, I've picked up on that.
Yeah. Phil, when it comes to the Facebook page, that Zibo page, I tell you what, I've had to learn very fast to bite on my lips. Because
yes, I spotted a few.
Whoa, I tell you. The funny thing is, it comes back to what I said earlier about this other guy as well. You've got 2 choices in life. You can either learn and make a better person of yourself, or you can just choose to be an asshole. And I've thankfully figured out it's better to learn and make a better person of yourself than to just be an asshole.
That's a good lesson to learn. Too many people haven't learned it.
Yeah.
And every time you see the flight deck to sim when he's streaming on, he tries to use VATSIM, and there's this idiot. It's not just him. I'm telling you, every time jumps in and
I've seen
tries to spoil it for everybody. And why?
Well, I tell you what, I spoke to him one day. I don't know if he's ever revealed his real name to you guys. I don't want to use it here on stream if you don't know what it is. But I spoke to him one day because what happened was we were on Twitch and I was viewing another streamer's stream, and one of Flight Deck to Sim's supporters, and Flight Deck to Sim obviously has no control over his supporters. You understand? He can't take responsibility for somebody being a lunatic.
Of course.
This came onto our stream where we were sitting and enjoying the show and all, and he was so rude and offensive, and but he was trying to sell come and watch Flight Deck to Sim, but in the wrong way. So I spoke to Flight Deck to Sim, and I said to him, look, I know you can't take responsibility for this. I just want to bring it under your attention that this lunatic got banned from this other stream. And he said, oh well, fine, thank you for telling me, nothing I can do. I said, I just told you, I know you can't do anything. Just wanted to let you know.
He freely admits he's no expert on computers and streaming. I've never watched him on Twitch, but he's no expert on the fancier parts of this and the fancier parts of streaming. He just likes flying, which is fair enough.
Yeah. To a certain degree, I can also handle a reasonable attack, okay, but I've also learned where the ban hammer is, so it's easier, instead of just trying to handle it, just to press the button. Unfortunately, when you are on VATSIM, for instance, I mean, neither him nor me have got control over VATSIM. The only thing you can do is to wallop the person that's doing the problem thing.
That's the problem. It keeps on getting on VATSIM. I don't know why he keeps on trying to use VATSIM because of that. It seems it's just the same person. He apparently does it on a lot of streams, crashes the stream every time he realises there's the one on there, and just the same rubbish every time.
Yeah. What is interesting to me, and I used to be a VATSIM staff member as well, is the double standards that the powers that be operate on. Because for absolute childish, rubbish reasons, they will ban you for life. But then you get a guy like this, and they seem to be powerless.
That's strange.
Yeah, we had guys where they caused so much strife in VATSIM, and every time we complained, the powers that be were either silent or told us to man up or some shit. But it's like they just don't have the balls to really do something about it. They like to have the clout, they like to have the appearance of being in control. It's all about perception. They like it, ooh, we are the board of governors. But
they like to look like the bosses.
Yes, but they don't actually act when they should. It's like they just don't have the balls. And I'm sorry if one of them are listening, but I'm speaking from personal experience. I had a guy that also treated me really, really badly, and that's why I left VATSIM staff position. I just couldn't handle it anymore. In actual fact, I had more than one. It's not just one. And it gets to a point where you don't know who your friends are anymore. And the guys who are at the top, who are supposed to run the show, are just there for the show. And you go, why? What's wrong with you? I mean, don't you guys have balls? That's the obvious question. So
the thing is, you get the bad pennies like that keep on causing us, and all it does is destroy the reputation of VATSIM.
Yes.
They'll end up losing their followers and end up not existing anymore.
Exactly. It came to a point where I refuse, point blank, to get involved with anything of VATSIM. I sometimes use it obviously as a tool to do group flights, and that's it. As long as the tool is available, I'll use it. If it's no longer there, I'll find another alternative. And I actually do have alternatives. They're not the be all and end all. But it's sad because it could be so much better if somebody just had some balls. That's my short and sweet on it.
Yeah, got to agree totally. Just as a wee aside, last week I had the first go at a new beta with the submarines in Wolfpack, which takes 4 or 5 people on a submarine, and somehow they managed to stream on YouTube almost without a delay.
Okay.
Either that or no, I had to mute YouTube, but you actually heard the actual system sounds and the background sound of the submarine while you were conversing. So somehow there's a way to get the actual the noise of the aircraft through, or should be a way.
There is. Phil, the way it works in streaming is you need to decide the way that you're going to format. Sorry, my English is leaving me a bit behind here now. Basically, they give you an option. They say to you, you can stream live without any delay, but then you don't have the PVR function, because currently The reason there is a 10-second delay on my system is I've enabled the PVR function. So the guys on the stream can actually pull the slider a half an hour back, watch a little bit, and then refresh the page, and then they are back to where we are now. So it's making a recording as we are streaming. If you take that facility away and it streams directly without the delay, there's no PVR function, so you can't go back. It's just live and that's it.
Understand, right? Okay.
Yeah. Ryan, please don't let me discourage you from joining VATSIM. The fact of the matter is, it is a good system. We're not complaining about what it is. We are complaining about how it's run. It's two different things. You need to understand that as a youngster. So don't make the mistake.
I think also, if you're just playing with VATSIM and not streaming, then you won't be a target for people like that.
SnapCloud.
You don't need to get involved in the politics anyway. You just use it.
Yeah, John, I agree. It's a tool to be used, and that's the end of the story. You know, one day when they apologize to me in person and in public and regret what they did to me, I will think of joining the staff ranks again. Until such time, I really don't care. They make no difference in my life. SnapCloud. Sorry, Phil. SnapCloud, sorry. Yeah, thanks for the accent story there. A lot of guys like to, you know, specifically mention the accent. A couple of guys laugh their asses off at my accent. But that's just who I am. I almost didn't start this channel because of the accent, and then one day I just decided, you know what, let's just do it. You either like it or you don't like it, and you can make fun of it any which way. I know there's a couple of guys who actually try to impersonate me as well. I don't know if you've heard Alex try and do it, John.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's actually funny. Kevin Arkley, you've missed a lot. We've spoken a lot. We've done a lot. We're actually almost at the top of descent already, and I haven't done a single thing because I'm just talking too much. Let's quickly just read one more question, and then I'll have to get working. SnapCloud, the only way to do that is to get proper CSL files. I recommend the Bluebell CSL files. You need to install them as per the instructions. And when you do your flight plan and file your flight plan, you obviously need to specify your correct aircraft, and if they do the same, it should give you the correct liveries. But if you have a dual monitor setup, it would be advisable to actually use Swift client instead of Squawkbox, because it's got a couple of more newer, neater tricks to it. Afrikaans. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Right, okay, guys, let's quickly grab all my charts and everything. Let's listen to the weather. I need a pen and paper quickly so I can write down what this person is going to tell us now.
Echo Delta Delta Kilo Airport information Lima 0850 Zulu weather wind 208 at 20 gusting to 31 visibility 10,000 sky clear temperature 16 dew point 5 QNH 1018 advise on initial contact.
I missed the winds there.
Lima.
Just want to listen to the winds quickly again. It was 20 gusting 31, but I missed the actual heading.
Kilo airport information Lima 0850 Zulu weather wind 208 at 20 gusting to 31 visibility.
Right, so let's grab our charts. Yeah. Right, we need to go down to 3000 to intercept the ILS there. Right, then need to enter our basic information. Information oops, close this thing by. Decision height will be 267. Snapcloud, I prefer Swift because it's newer technology. Squawk Box is busy with an update, but it's going to take a while to catch up. Swift is better. It's newer technology. It takes care of quite a few problems, but you can't see it in the game. So you need to have a multi-screen, or you need to Alt and Tab the whole time to get to it. So if you don't have a multi-screen setup, rather use Squawk Box. Or if you don't mind, tabbing out the whole time, but it's a much better system than Squawk Box. Alright, so we've got 267. Our QNH, she reported 1018. Right, then if we go to this FMC, flight slopes on, we're going to take our approach speed of 149 on flaps 30. And the minimum that we have to do on the descent page is a forecast for the transition flight level. That's the minimum that you guys really need to do. And that is flight level 050. And the reason we do this inscription, you don't have to do any of the other stuff, but this is very important. The reason we do that is because when we get to flight level 050, this standard indication is going to go yellow, and that's going to be the prompt to tell us to click on standard over there and actually switch to the local QNH. So it's very important. Aviation, Ryan, I own my own business, so my responsibilities on flight simming takes a very far back seat actually. It's my hobby, it's not where I make my money, so I have to take care of making money first, and the family and the employees that work for me and things like that. So I can't just pack up and go. If it's not pre-planned a year in advance, I'm just not going to go to any expo or any holiday or anything for that matter.
I've accepted you, Phil.
Excellent.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Right, my next step is to get the ILS set up, so we need to get the course values in. 243, 243, and then 1091. There we go. Right, so the last thing we do is then auto brake. This is a short runway, so I'm going to use auto brake 2. I don't know why, but both airports, the shortest runways available on both are the two ones that are actually the actives today. So that's the exciting bit, Phil. I think you asked for what's the exciting bit about the flight. There's an answer.
Trying to stop.
Yeah, trying to get off in time and trying to stop in time.
Do you know if he's cured that problem with the aircraft sticking to the runway on landing where he couldn't move?
That's actually scenery. That's a scenery problem. I had the same thing in Spokane. I removed the scenery and the 7.3 worked again. So I had a quick look. It seems that some of the guys don't understand when they make the scenery about how to do it properly. I have not had it again.
That's peculiar because I haven't got any add-on airports. Everything I've got is default explained, and I had that same problem. It just stuck to the runway.
Weird. I actually noticed you mentioned that on Facebook. The only thing I can suggest is just update, because mine doesn't do it. It did it on the 737-700 in Spokane last week. On the last stream, it is here on my channel. But I removed the scenery and then it worked again. So that's what I know about it. That's my extent of my knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I haven't had a chance to fly it, but I've got the latest version. Well, I had the latest version until last night, so Can't keep up. I want to get a chance to have a go. Maybe tomorrow I'll have a flight with it and see if it sticks or not. It only ever did it once.
Yeah, I had the same thing last week, and it was the first time ever. I haven't had it since or before. Right, so I've got a problem. I've got a CH throttle quadrant, and for some reason, about 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many versions ago, now part of RC3.7, it does not want to do my VNAV descent if I do not pull back on my physical throttles, and that's what I just did there. If anybody noticed, I have to put the physical throttle levers in idle, and then the VNAV works properly. So Phil, we get anomalies like that. Not everybody uses the same controllers. Each controller is different, and you just got to compensate, for that as well when you can, and if you can figure it out. So
I think that's pretty usual. I've got a Thrustmaster throttle and I get exactly the same problem. Well, I've always had to force the habit, always pull it back to idle, normally at top of descent, and just let the auto throttles do their own.
right, so there we go.
Hello again from the flight deck. We are just commencing our descent. Looks like we'll be landing ahead of schedule and the weather conditions are looking good at our destination. We'll be touching down in less than 30 minutes, so do make your way back to your seats. Thanks for choosing to fly with us today, and it's been a pleasure having you on board.
Are you still flying, John?
I'm watching you, sir.
Okay.
But trust me, the second this flight finishes, I'm starting my next one.
I've got a similar mind.
I'm off for another 4-hour flight down to Agia.
Awesome.
There's no stopping you.
Oh, he's a monster. I created a monster.
Did you hear my...
You could say that.
Did you hear my answer about the throttles, Nicky, or did I press the wrong button? I think I might have pressed the wrong.
Hold a second, give me a second. Paul, it is sad, my friend. Try and see if you can make it tonight, and we'll catch up. But whatever you do, go enjoy what you do. Phil,
Well, thank you for that, because the chances are he'll do a decent landing today.
Poor Paul. Shame. Paul, you're always welcome on the stream, my friend. I will compensate for whatever happens. Phil, I heard you were talking about the Thrustmaster there and about the thrust lever and so on. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
I did press the right button.
Hey, Kastrup, welcome to the stream, buddy. George wants to know, what do you do on a 4-hour flight, John?
Yeah, I was just typing up the answer to it. Very
okay.
simple. Once I'm in the cruise, I continue with all the chores that any household has, and listen to some really nice music.
Me too.
I am from Johannesburg, South Africa. That is where I reside. Where are you from?
Who, me?
No. Kastrup Gaming is asking questions.
Yes, okay. Yes, there's always two in the pit. Eyeball is kept on the flight all the time.
We don't always go sterile in the cockpit, and that's the problem. And poor old Paul thinks he's jinxing it, but it's just us not paying attention, really. or me at least.
Sterile in the approach every single time, and a takeoff.
Okay, he's from Turkey.
Beautiful country, Turkey.
Yeah, I've only seen photos, never been there.
Don't know about that, but I love a good kebab.
One of my favourites, kebab. I treat myself probably once a month.
Same here.
But it must have at least 2 decent hot chilies in there.
Yeah, you want to have it talk to you, eh? Needs
Want
to
to have
talk to you.
consequences.
Yeah.
Oh,
And my posterior is on fire the following day.
Always keep a loo roll in the fridge.
That's not a bad idea. I have to put one in a plastic bag, I think.
Yeah.
Or have a frost-free fridge.
Yeah.
Bye-bye,
More
Kastrup.
Bye, man.
Bye.
That was short and sweet.
What do you want me to press W for? I have no idea what W is going to do. In my setup, it's probably going to do nothing. I'm pressing it, it does nothing. I customize my system, so most explain shortcuts don't work anymore. George, no. On YouTube, I cannot see who is online at all. Only the guys that actually chat with me. So if you want to lurk in the background, just don't type anything. Because that's the only time I will see a name. On Twitch, I can see who's actually on the stream. So there I've got a little bit more tools at my disposal to see who is there and who's not there. It's actually kind of funny to watch the guys come and go, but YouTube doesn't allow that, doesn't give that feature.
In other words, anybody could be watching or listening.
Yeah. I've had it a few times now where I mention something and the next day there's a fix for it, so I just smile, you know.
Yeah, in other words, developers just sitting in the background.
Yeah, and they listen.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. I mean, Cloudy, Twixter, you know, they come on my stream sometimes. Sometimes they just sit and watch. They don't talk always.
Sometimes they surprise you and speak up.
Exactly. And then you've got Andre from Jar Design. I mean, we've got a good working relationship as well. For instance, he doesn't usually speak, but I know he's watched plenty of times, you know, and then, you know, he's commented off, you know, offline with me. We speak via Messenger. So it happens.
Is this going out on Twitch at the same time or just YouTube?
No, just YouTube. I've looked into streaming both sides same time. I've also looked into streaming on Facebook at the same time. But you know what? Again, it's just not me yet. Maybe one day. I've got no need for doing all those fancy things.
Fair dues.
Come on, guys, don't let me down. No quiet spots, not allowed.
I'm just watching and trying not to put him off.
No, I'm okay.
You won't do that.
Yeah, are you using Active Sky or any Sky enhancements at all?
Yeah, this is active sky weather, and then the clouds is FS enhancer textures. I do not use. Yeah, I use Xvision as well. But in terms of FS enhancer, when you download them, the stuff, it comes with Lua scripts. I've stopped using the Lua scripts. I'm waiting for the new release of FS enhancer. Then I'll use the scripts again. So currently, I'm literally using their textures for the sky and for the clouds and so on, but not the Lua scripts. And then I've got Xvision running as well with a Vivid preset.
Well done, George.
Right.
George, you know, if we get a troublemaker, you might need the overcoat again, but just bring pliers, because when I hold him down, I want you to pull the nails, you know, so just don't put it too far away.
George, just keep the glasses with a false nose.
Yeah, that too.
What's the other one? The newspaper with the holes cut in it so you can see through it.
Yeah.
I think George is a bit of a comedian himself.
Oh, we need guys like that as well. Look at these clouds. Wow.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I'm going to have to sell the pet or sell a car or something and upgrade my PC, because they've stuck an update on the train sim I like using Run 8, and that's maxing out my CPU now.
Ooh.
It's starting to struggle, my poor old.
Pleasure. Have you on Britain's Got Talent in a couple of months' time, George?
Steady approach.
Shame poor old Susan, yeah.
Exactly. She's a multi-millionaire now.
Whatever happened to her? Because just as suddenly as she came, she disappeared.
No, she's still there. She's still there, and she's doing all sorts of tours. She's raking it in.
Oh, okay.
She's just been back on telly ago, mentioned on telly. I don't know whether it's an album out where she's singing with somebody else, I think.
Okay.
But she hasn't faded away completely.
They've remoulded her, I thought, very well.
Well, it's not my sort of thing. I much prefer things like Frank Zappa, so it's a different. I'm into different music from that. So I don't really.
Each to their own. Each to their own.
Yeah. Look.
She can sing.
Yeah.
Can she sing?
Oh, she's got a phenomenal voice. No denying that. That's a nice approach. It's looking nice and clear.
Oh, very nice.
You can't do anything about the face you're born with. That's set in stone.
Now that will be embarrassing. Revenge. Not one of my favourite albums. Just been listening to Pygmy Twilight yesterday, and I've just received yesterday Roxy, the CD collection, 8 CDs of Zappa to listen to.
Right, so 10,000. Here we go. Things are starting to happen.
That's good. The pilot's still awake.
For God's sake, don't let him go to sleep.
No, don't worry.
How late do you leave it before you start configuring? Oh, also, oh no, you've already done the auto brake. Sorry, I'll take it back.
Yeah. It's all in my checklist. I just run it according to my checklist because that's how I was taught all the years. So that gets done in the just before descent checklist thing. And then what happens is Cloudy has molded me a little bit to know more about, you know, the final approach phase and about the gears and things like that, and about using the flaps correctly and stuff like that. So I keep on learning myself as well.
Excellent. I see that. I keep on picking up bits and bobs. See, the auto throttle's gone back to warm, so it's actually idling at the moment.
Yeah,
isn't it?
completely.
Just ready to apply power if that.
Please note, everybody, Nico, for all his thousands of hours he's flying, will still admit to you that he's learning. We all learn every single day.
That's amazing.
You're never too fat to learn, as I keep on.
Yeah, for sure.
Correct.
But how's this? I mean, have you guys noticed in the last 2 weeks specifically, since Zibo introduced the code where the engine will actually flame out if you overstress it, how many guys are complaining that they take off and then the engines die?
So many on the last week or so. I was away from the computer, but I was keeping an eye on Facebook, and there's so many people blowing the engine.
Yeah. Bye-bye, George. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you later or next week again. Yeah, it's amazing, Phil. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I keep on saying to the guys, use proper procedures. But you know what's even more funny for me is the guys come onto the Zibo group, they make their post, but then they go onto XPD, explain next generation, explain 11, VATSIM. I mean, they go to like 5 different groups and they ask the same question, and I think, how many different answers do you really want? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep on. Try. Got to find a hotkey that doesn't type into both windows at once.
Use shift. Shift is a good one. Shift or control.
Good thinking.
Bye bye.
Bye, George.
Bye, George.
Big Genesis fan.
Oh, I like Genesis as well, and Peter Gabriel. I love Pink Floyd.
This is such a lazy approach, man. Feels like we're hanging in the air here.
Yeah, you haven't even got any turning to do. It's just...
No, it's a straight in.
Leave it to it. Is it a full auto land, or are you going to take it manually?
Yeah, no, I'm going to take it manually. All those tests and everything that I did with Twixter and Cloudy and everybody here on stream, everything was good at the time, but no, I prefer landing manually by far.
Nico, Aviation Ryan. question. XP realistic.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I don't fly without XP realistic. Each and every one of my aircraft is fitted and it's enabled in every one of them. Right, so approach goes on.
Hi Kevin, not normally a fan of tribute bands, but I've seen the Australian Pink Floyd and I love the show. I'd go see them again.
One of the best shows I ever went to see was Rod Stewart.
Yeah, when he's played Glasgow in the last few years, he's been charging stupid money for tickets, ridiculous amounts. But a lot of people are.
Everyone knows every one of his songs. They all sing with him.
Always the same at Marillion concerts and Fish concerts. It's sing along. It's like a party, not a concert. Great.
That's it. Brilliant.
I bet the people are. Sorry, Phil.
Sorry, Nico, on go.
I bet the people are wondering why it's taking so long to land. I mean, if I was sitting at the back, I would go, "What are you doing?" It's just taking forever.
It's just so clear. It's like a balloon flight.
Yeah.
What's this? About an 18-mile approach?
Ooh, no, this was about 30.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this was long.
Why would you want to buy aircraft when you've got the Zibo? Just my thought.
I would like to fly something different from myself. I'd like to try an Airbus, something with different controls, and I would love to get my hands on the Concorde that they're coming out with. Really would.
Look, even for me, I break using the Zibo 24/7 by either flying the GA, and I've got the Kodiak and the Twin Otter, or then I use the Airbuses, because as much as I love the Zibo and I live for it, everybody knows that. Sometimes you just want to fly something else, just to feel something else, experience something else. And so I own all the Airbuses, but my favorite one is always the Jar Designer. I always go back to that Jar Designer A320.
Is that because the systems, or is that because it feels more aircrafty?
The immersion is the best. There is no other Airbus with the kind of immersion they've got. And then secondly, you have to actually work for your money. You've got to work that thing. It's not an aircraft that flies on rails, and that's one of the reasons the people hate it, because the flight simmers all want something that flies on the rails, and they hate having to fight against this thing to land it. And so that's where the challenge lies for me, is to land that bloody thing, because it's difficult. It is very difficult because of the logic that the guys use, and I know they're going to update it soon. So but yeah, the immersion factor is wow, and it's a bit of a challenge.
That's the Jar Design, you said, was it?
Yeah, Jar Design A320.
I've got the 5.7, I've got the 6.7, and I've only flown both of them once.
Because I was going to ask for long distance flights, what would be your choice? I was reading somewhere, I think it was on Facebook yesterday, about the 777 being very sort of gamey and not not feeling like a real aircraft. Yeah,
the flight factor one, that old Ramses Worldliner thing, is old. It needs a revamp. It works, it's functional, but it's not, on today's standard, number one. But I personally use the Jar Design A330 for long hauls. I also, on Ramses here, I fly for Thomas Cook, and the A330 is one of the aircraft, so it fits in beautifully.
Right.
Right, so let's look at this. We're arming the speed brake. We've got auto brake armed, gears down, 3 green. Lights are all set up. Now it's a question of checking this go around altitude. What should that be set at? 5,000. Right. Ooh, there was a bit of a gust.
It's right on the nose, though.
What were the gust figures again?
20 going to 31. Right, so now we need to slow down a little bit.
Your approach speed?
1,000 feet, stay
154.
Is that your landing speed?
Well, yeah, that's the no, it's not landing speed. It's my approach speed, VREF. Remember, I add 5, so it's 149 plus 5.
Thank you.
So there goes auto throttle.
Yes, I need to program a button on my system for dumping the autopilot.
I just trim it out. The moment you change your trim, it goes.
That's useful to know.
Yeah.
It is, but I don't think I'd like to alter the trim at that stage of the approach, unless I have.
Thank you for that, Nico.
No worries.
4 on approaching minimums. 300. Minimums.
He's going to try.
200.
Pass the butterfly.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, bloody hell, now I look left and then I pull left. I hate it. I go where my eyes go. Anyway, that was 228. It wasn't that soft, but it also wasn't that hard. So, I suppose it's acceptable. It's amazing how you follow your eyes. I go look left and then I don't concentrate on actually keeping the aircraft steady.
But people on motorbikes often end up just riding off the road. They look at a hazard and aim for it instead of trying to.
That's a pass, by the way.
On runway 32 left.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it is what it is. They will.
Short runway.
Yeah.
Feet remaining.
They will accept the pirates.
You kept off the grass.
Yeah.
Very true. Down.
Did you
I've
guys?
just seen the time. I've got to go and start getting ready to do my sound engineer bit. I will see you on the next stream next weekend, maybe tomorrow.
100% or this evening.
See you guys. See you all. See you, John.
Cheers. Bye bye. Glidermoose, thanks for the subscription, buddy. John, I don't know, did you notice there was like this road that was going through the runway there?
Negative.
Looks strange. Looks like they've got the highway running straight through the runway. I'm just going to park here. I have no idea where this is. As far as I know, we should park on the other side of this airport, but I don't know if we can actually taxi there. Let's quickly have a look. Oh, there's an aircraft from live traffic. Look, John, they're coming in.
Yeah, it's. I'm quite pleased with live traffic now. It's working well.
Yorkie, the thing is, it messed with my eyes there, that thing. I don't like seeing things like that. It's not an excuse for a bad landing. I'm just saying it really messed with my eyes there. I didn't like, you know, having those two bars running across that highway. Ooh, and look at this uphill we have to go over. Wow.
Reminds me of Alicante, that.
Yeah.
That is one hill.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a highway. It was definitely a highway. We can go have a look there just now. This is crazy. Feels like I'm riding a Formula 1 car the way I'm driving this thing now.
I'm glad you reminded me. F1 today. Well, there's a broadcast on it, ready for tomorrow.
And you won't believe what just happened.
Tell me.
My Ryanair smart cars just crashed.
Are you joking?
Nope. Let me see if I can recover it. Yeah, no, it's just now thrown the whole thing away. Can't believe it.
It's what it is.
Yeah. Hold on. I see what happened. It went to a different page. I've got it back.
Good.
Alright, so let's make sure we've got all these things in place and then set the jocks. Got it back. Right, okay.
Register.
It has taken the flight, it seems. Let's have a look, see. Let's see what it says. It's probably gonna want to relog back in, so. Well, I got 165 points for it. They gave me a fair landing, so they're happy. Then I'm more happy than I was just a minute ago. There you go. That's not bad, 165.
Just so you guys know, he's trying to catch me up.
Let's have a replay.
I'll have a look for this highway now.
Yeah. There's the zigzag. Guys, I just noticed it is a runway. It definitely is a runway. I apologize. I made a mistake there. It definitely is a runway, that. But the difference in the actual coloring, that's actually played a bit on my eyes. I thought it was a road. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Yogi, sorry I missed your goodbye there. I hope you're still on the stream to hear me. Thank you so much for watching with us and enjoying the flight. We shall indeed see you next time. It does. It does. It was a temporary lapse of sanity. Call it what you want. That's actually the runway I took off from yesterday.
We do forgive you.
Yeah, I'm just human, unfortunately. Sorry.
Bye, Yoki.
Okay, last replay. Let's just quickly see what it looked like when we landed. I might just get the right position and just replay it, but I just want to see what it looks like. And then we're going to say tata bye-bye, and you guys can go and enjoy yourselves for the rest of this beautiful Saturday morning. Looks much better in this view.
It'll cost you.
Ryan, you can join just after the stream for a minute or two, because I also have things to do. So you can join so long, and then we'll talk to you after the stream. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for joining, and then enjoy your time until we speak again. Bye-bye.
Bye all.